Now, when parents deal with technology, they often turn to their kids for help. In fact, there's a new poll that found kids become more tech savvy than their parents by the time they turn 12, which means I've got about 5 years before I'm behind the eight ball myself. But when it comes to planning for retirement and seeking help, when should somebody begin looking and seeking the help of a financial advisor?
Well, I would tend to agree, though, that I think the youth have it down pat when it comes to technology. I know I just recently upgraded my computer, and a couple of us did, and we put up some smart TVs in our new lobby area that we have, and we can wirelessly connect to them. But for the life of me, Scott and I could not figure out how to wirelessly connect, and so we called my son home from college, and he drove up from BGSU, and he like hit three buttons. He was like doot doot doot, and it was on the screen. So that is true. You can get technology through the youth. They do have that stuff pretty well. But, your question here is, at what point is it worth getting a financial advisor? One of the things is, if you are working with a financial advisor or you haven't worked with a financial advisor, one of the things I would encourage you to do is, we've got a report that talks about the 13 things you should know before choosing a financial professional. Because if you get the person that's on the ball, it can make a big difference versus somebody, who's maybe a salesperson. And, having somebody that walks through your unique situation, I think is very important. So I've taken my years of experience and put it together with a couple of tips for you. Just let us know if you want a copy of that. We can do that. But Chaz, I think you probably would agree. I mean, as a certified financial planner, I think, the areas and when it becomes important to work with a financial professional is when your situation gets too complex. Google or my YouTube channel on how to retire series maybe no longer delivers you all the answers that you're looking for. You're big into creating like a written investment strategy for folks. And I think that's another area. When you look at retirement, having a pocket full of money and picking at it is not necessarily an investment strategy.
Right. Yeah, definitely. And I talk about, actually, in the Economic Summit, we talk about the phases of retirement. And I think the need that you have for a financial advisor changes over time as you progress from maybe the accumulation phase when you're young, maybe you're just starting off in your first job and you've got that first 401k, and it's all about just saving and maximizing and just getting access to the market. You have the time on your side so you can weather a lot of the ups and downs associated with the market. You can recover from major losses. But as we age, we don't have the time to recover. And so I talk about moving from that accumulation phase kind of into a pre-retirement, sort of maybe even an early retirement phase where you're 10 to 15 years out from retirement, maybe mid to late 50s. And then I think that's when a retirement advisor, particularly an income specialist. So I think it's probably important to distinguish between, the different types of names we give ourselves. You said one earlier, salesman. And a lot of folks in the industry are just that. Maybe they only have one particular license, or they don't have a fiduciary sort of standard that they're held to. So it is all about what product they have available, and if it fits your needs generally, it may not be the best one for you, but if it fits, they're held to a different standard. And so as you're approaching that pre-retirement stage, it's crucial that you talk to an income specialist. And an income specialist is somebody that's going to, first of all, help you start to articulate what your goals are. And I think once you identify what your goals are, Nolan, you're going to know that it's not that I need to sell stocks. It's not that I'm going to sell a stock to be able to pay for that round of golf this weekend. I need regularly scheduled income coming into the portfolio. And so an income specialist can help you design that income investment strategy that involves stocks that maybe pay high dividends versus ones that pay no dividend at all, that you're hoping and praying for some growth in the future. And then also looking for good, well-researched individual bonds and bond-like investments like our annuities that have principal guarantees, and that for right now, you can lock in some really great interest rates, in some cases even over 5%, that are going to give you that reliable income stream. And then the other factor that I would say is, as you start to move from that pre-retirement into the late stages, or mid to late retirement, now we're going to start talking about taxes. And that's a good place also where your financial advisors can help you Make sure that you're not paying too much in tax for that hard-earned money, that savings, that 401k, those traditional IRA plans where you haven't paid any tax at all. It's helpful to have a financial advisor in that stage to help you, just save. Again, take control of what you can control. Taxes and when you pay them are absolutely something that you can control.
Yeah, it's something that, as we're not CPAs or accountants, it's something we love working with either somebody here locally or your CPA or accountant, and kind of running the numbers, because your retirement account is usually your biggest or second biggest asset you own beside your house. And, with the lion's share of that being tax deferred, it may make sense to look at strategies to minimize taxes in the future through things like Roth conversions, maybe IRA rollouts, things like required minimum distributions, getting all those things right. Two other areas, as I know we kind of round up here on a break. One is you have a hard time keeping emotions out of the investment decision. If you find yourself, stuck watching the media and, always kind of second guessing what your investment choices are, we want to help and, prevent you from being a prey to the emotions of a volatile market. Advisors, one of the best areas that an advisor earns his paycheck is in the tough times, to kind of help navigate you through the waters that are out there. And as you pointed out, the other areas, as you're nearing retirement, that's where you have a mind shift from save and accumulate to how do you make this money get up and go to work for you every single day if you're not going to go to work. So bottom line is, if you're wondering at what point is it worth getting a financial advisor, the next step I encourage you to do is get a hold of us. We'll give you a copy of that report that talks about the 13 things you should know before choosing a financial professional. Use that as you begin to interview and look for different areas on where maybe somebody could help you take it up a notch.
Again, to get a copy of that report, give a call, 419-794-3030. That's 419-794-3030. You can also drop them online at arhq.com.